Hi, my name's Vicky Hope Walker and I run the National Paralympic Heritage Trust. I'm coming to you today to share another object from our collection. I haven't actually got the object in front of me because I'm at home, but I have got a really good image of it. So I'm going to show you the image first of all. I think you can probably make out that they are a pair of glasses. I'm not quite sure about these marks that have occurred on them, but they are a pair of glasses. And they're actually called, I'm just looking at the notes here, the Sakura Nap glasses. And they were designed in Japan. I'm not sure about the time of them, but looking at the brochure and some of the writing on it, if I show you that, I think it looks like it could be the 1950s, maybe the 1960s. And that's some of the excitement of when you get new things into the collection, and these are new is you have to do that bit of research to understand where they've come from and their data and everything. That's not always with them when you acquire objects. Now, this is from the National Spinal Injuries Centre collection. And you might wonder, well, first of all, what's the National Spinal Injuries Centre got to do with the Paralympics? The National Spinal Injuries Centre is where the Paralympics began under Dr. Gutman, when it was set up to deal with servicemen and women coming back with spinal injuries, particularly just before the D-Day landings and in preparation for them. So they have a lot of things in their collection that relate to the Paralympics. This doesn't particularly, and the early Paralympic Games were all about athletes who had spinal injuries. Now, these goggles are particularly meant for use by people with spinal injuries. So if you imagine that when you have got a spinal injury, and you might be bedbound, you'll be bedbound, and how are you going to, if you can't lift your neck, if you can't lift your upper body, how are you going to communicate with people, watch the TV, maybe read a book or something? How's that going to happen? And one of the things that can be really isolating is not to make eye contact with somebody beside you. So things like this played a really important role as part of that rehabilitation process of being able to partake in what we might take for granted, like talking to somebody and being able to see them at the same time, or watching the television. And here I have an illustration out of that brochure and box. And you can see it has a lady here in bed reading a book by it, has somebody sitting up with the book on their lap, so then unable to bring it up to their face and being able to read it at that angle. And even somebody being able to read or watch the television that's positioned behind them. And that's because these glasses have prisms within them that can be angled and changed. So it takes us back as well to the really important thing of innovation in museum settings historically, to provide equipment, and the role of the occupational therapist to adapt equipment and invent equipment that enables people to continue living a normal life and provides them with continued access to the things that many people might take for granted. So really important. And the National Spinal Injuries Centre historically had played a very important role of developing mechanisms and equipment that helps with this rehabilitation process and the continued enjoyment of things in everyday life. If you'd like any more information, do please visit our website www.paralympicheritage.org.uk, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday. Many thanks. Bye-bye.